Is it possible for an ordinary man to become an Ironman in just 12 months? Well, in this series, we're going to be answering that very question. This is Zero to Ironman.
The Ironman, the hardest race on the planet. 140 miles of grit, determination, and unwavering discipline. A 2.4 mile swim, 112 mile bike ride, and as if that wasn't already enough, a marathon. A race only 0.01% of the world's population has ever complete.
So the time, 13:39, 20 to 2 on a Saturday, January the 10th. So today, we're stepping it up a notch. We're into the new year, and I think the fact that not only have we now officially booked this Ironman race, also because there's now 10 months left, I think it's time to step things up a notch. I think the idea of biking 112 miles on its own isn't that daunting, but the idea of doing that after a 2.4 mile swim and then still having to run a marathon, and it only being 10 months away, I haven't even rid more than 60 miles yet. So today, we're going to step things up a notch. We're going to be doing an 80-mile ride. So 4 hours, sat on the indoor trainer, sat on the same seat, watching the same character, same virtual character go round and round and round and round on a screen. I think over these past few weeks, over these past few months, we've built a solid foundation, we've built a solid base, but now it's time to step things up a notch. It's time to be getting towards those 12, 15-hour weeks, ramping up the training volume ever so gradually, week upon week, until we're training consistently, until we're hitting that 15-hour a week mark, running, biking, swimming, 150 plus miles a week. Overall, it's good to see that we're now starting to pick up this training volume, and today should be a real test to see how fit we are and how much we can endure this 80-mile ride, this 4-hour monotony. Let's see what we got. Here we go. So we got 4 hours at 150 watts. For me, this is zone 2, just about, zone 1, zone 2, but it's to build that endurance. It's the monotony of sitting on the bike for 4 hours straight. Really calluses the mind in preparation for what we hope will be roughly around a 6-hour bike ride come race day.
So a little over 20 years ago now, my birth father was killed by our next door neighbour, and it was this whole thing in the newspaper, labelled as a love affair gone wrong, and from there me and my sister were taken into foster care, and not long after that adopted. Obviously at that point I was way too young to even realise or even remember what was going on, but I think when I really think about why I feel like I have this undying urge to prove to myself what I'm capable of, I think a lot of it comes from that. Now obviously I'm older, and I can look back and actually process my feelings. I'm not angry. I look back and I feel grateful because I was taken out of a pretty shitty situation, and I was brought into a good one where, although like any family who have the difficulties, both my mum and my dad have always done everything that they can to provide for me, to provide for my sister, and give us everything that we could ever want.
So it's the next day. It's currently 3 p.m. Okay, 3 p.m. What we've got done today is absolutely zilch. We've gone to the gym this morning. Woke up pretty early. Thought I was going to have a fairly productive day. Didn't actually feel too bad after that 80 mile yesterday. I had this weird kind of clicking pain in my knee that I'd never felt before. So usually when I flex my knee, you know how you get that kind of click and it clicks but there's no pain? Yesterday I wasn't getting the click when I was trying to flex my knee, but when I was flexing it I was in excruciating amount of pain. So yeah, I took it easy after the 80 miler, didn't do anything else, just rested, woke up this morning and could flex my knee again. So I don't know whether that was just my body getting used to that kind of distance. Obviously, it's the first time we've gone over 60 miles on the bike, and to go 80 miles from 60 is quite a big jump. So maybe it was that, but today, woke up feeling pretty fresh, smashed the gym session this morning, come back though, and it's just hit me. For some reason, I've just been absolutely zapped for the rest of the day, rest of the morning into early afternoon. So as I say, it's now 3 p.m. We've got a long run on the cards today. So a little over an hour. We're going to do an hour, 5 minutes, 5 minutes up from last week's long run of an hour. Now, I wasn't 100% sure I was going to be able to do today's long run after yesterday's first ever 80 miler, but woke up this morning feeling fairly good. So I'm going to see how it goes, take it slow though, nothing past, kind of the 5:45 per kilometre mark. Stay in zone 2, so around 120, 130 BPM. Goal of this session is just simply to get the miles in the legs. There we have it, fellas. Just shy of 11k, 1 hour 5, roughly around the 6 minute per kilometre pace. Average heart rate around 130 to 135 BPM. One thing that I'm going to try and focus on in this training block is not going too fast, because I've got into the habit of before going too fast to get the aerobic benefits from zone 2, but not going fast enough to be working in the VO2 range. I was running too fast, which led to injury, and that injury would then stop me training completely, and then I'd go back, and I'd lose 2 weeks worth of progress. I think the focus for these next few months, especially with these longer runs, is going to be to stay within that kind of 120 to 130 BPM heart rate range. Make sure I get the most out of trying to build this aerobic base, because when it comes to the Ironman, I'm going to be racing 140 miles. If my heart rate's too high too soon, I'm going to be finished. So it's about keeping that heart rate steady, making sure I build a good solid aerobic base before the race day, so that when race day comes round, I've got a solid aerobic base and I can go far at quite a good pace. That's the aim. So another long run, boxed off 200 kilometers this week. 200 kilometers. If you would have told me I'd be riding, biking, swimming, running 200 kilometers in a week just a few months ago, I would have told you you're crazy. 12 months ago, I was in the hospital bed having back surgery, not knowing whether I was even going to be able to run again. And here we are just 12 months later, training for an Ironman, showing people just what's possible if you set your mind to it. 200 kilometers. I'll see you next week.